Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
And Jeff, how are you doing this week?
Pretty good. How about you?
I am doing well. Not looking forward to school.
Oh, I already started. So.
Yeah. Well, I got a little bit ahead of you there. I still have until Thursday. It's still summer.
Yeah.
For me, but soon that'll be taken from me.
Yeah. I just realized something. We can maybe soon see how we did on our summer goals. How bad we did.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I have a feeling we did pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I didn't foresee. I didn't foresee Hellblade or Persona 5.
Yeah.
Or,
I had Persona 5 on there, I think, as starting it.
I think I had Final Fantasy 15 on it, which I haven't touched.
I had a lot of things on there.
Yeah.
Some of it I got through, some I did not.
Sorry, our cat is making some crazy noises.
Silly guy.
Well, Jeff, let's get into it because we actually have more things to talk about with games we've been playing. And we need to talk about that now while we can, because once school starts, that might get a little bit harder.
Yeah, it might.
At least you can play in class with your Switch and just blow off your assignments and stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So, Jeff, this week I finished Hellblade. Turns out I actually had a good bit more left in it than I thought I did when we talked about it last week. I thought that I was further along, or maybe it just took me longer because sometimes I'm pretty stupid. You know me, I'm pretty dumb, and sometimes it took me a while to figure out some of the puzzles.
Curiosity, how long did it take you and all, or does it say or not?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
So, and I played it in so many different settings,
Yeah.
some sitting sometimes little, so it's really hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to kind of talk about my final impressions. They have changed. They're a little bit more negative than I was last week, but this is still a really good game. The only thing I would say, the combat and the puzzles,
I figured,
especially by the end of the game, get pretty tedious. Yeah. They were always repetitive, but it kind of wears on you. And the biggest sin the game does is the combat. They never really add any sort of new abilities or anything new to what you're doing in the combat, or even really the enemies you're fighting. It's pretty much the same throughout the game. And instead of adding elements to the combat to make it harder, they just send hordes after hordes of enemies at you. They just up the number of enemies you're fighting to absurd levels sometimes. There was multiple times I had been fighting for so long that I started thinking, am I supposed to do something to make this stop? Or are they just going to keep coming? And then eventually they would finally stop, and I would set the controller down and be massage my fingers because they hurt so bad from mashing. So by the end of it, I did not like the combat. I dreaded combat sections. And by the end of it, while there were some really cool puzzles, there was one type of puzzle that they go to so often that it kind of became repetitive too. It was just all right, we're doing this. It's not any spoiler. There's a lot of puzzles that you have to you see this weird Norse symbol thing.
I think I saw that in a little play through trailer thing they did.
Yeah, and you have to find it in the world.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but they reuse it way too many times.
I guess I've been thinking of finding if they used it a lot more sparingly.
Right.
It'd be a lot more cool.
By the end of it, it was almost just you rolled your eyes. You're all right, this again.
Yeah.
But that being said, for a game that I can talk negatively about for that long and that hard, because the puzzles and combat are big parts of this game. They're the two central gameplay pillars to this. Still, this is a really, really cool experience for many reasons, and a lot of it is the story is very, very interesting, but it's told in kind of the subtle, weird way. I don't even completely understand it, but ever since I finished it, I've been thinking about it every day, which is a good sign for that. And I've been reading up on people's theories about stuff, and it's really interesting. But just the experience of especially audio, playing it with headphones, as I said last week, I think if you're not playing this game in headphones on, you're missing out, because you get to hear the voices there in her head because she's very mentally unstable. And just the whole audio in the game in general, it uses binaural audio, and it's crazy. And there are a few sections, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there are a few sections in the middle of this game that do things with like audio and visual cues that I have never ever seen before in a game. Where there was like an entire section where like what you see on the screen almost doesn't even matter. It's like the audio, and it was really, really cool and like very immersive in that way. So there's just a lot of things they do in this game that was just so right, and I was so like invested in the story the whole time. Mm-hmm. It was just the gameplay, I mean the fighting and the puzzles kind of like fight against you some and take you out of it, but it's not so much that I think the game's still worth it, especially for $30.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. And I'm excited to see going forward if other developers or Ninja Theory try this again and like fix what was wrong and go forward more with this. So basically, at the end of the day, I recommend the game. Just know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Just know that you're going to have to be a little patient with this game and, trudge through it a little bit at times. It's not perfect, but it's really cool. I've never had a gameplay experience like that, so,
Neat. Yeah, I'm sure Ninja Theory will try to expand on it considering, it's being received very well.
Yeah.
I guess we need to see sales, but...
I do want to see sales. Yeah. Definitely want to. But from what I've seen, a lot of people agree with me that like those sections of the game could be a lot better. But everyone seems to kind of be in the same boat I'm at. Like even with its flaws, though, just this, it's interesting enough and it's a cool enough experience to get into and go into, and. Yeah, so I recommend... I mean, I probably won't go back to it because it's just one of those. But you think about it. I mean, the storytelling is really, really, really cool. So, well done, Ninja Theory. And I'm interested. It's a gutsy game. Very, like, weird, not what you think of from, like, a AAA type thing. So
yeah, again, depending on sales, this will probably be a Ninja Theory thing going forward. These kind of shorter AAA experience, cheaper ones.
Yeah, kind of like filling in that middle gap that I feel like we've lost. We have like AAA games, or we have indie games, but we usually don't have things in between.
Yeah, hopefully this shows other developers like, hey, this stuff can work. Right. You just gotta make it worth it.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. So I guess one of your goals was to finish Hellblade?
Yes, it was, and I did that, but because there was a lot more left in there than I thought, it kind of hindered my other part of my goal, which was to get, I think, 2 weeks.
I think we both said 2 weeks.
I probably only got a few days. I'm still in the first dungeon. I've played very little, not because I didn't want to, it's just I didn't have the time. Mm-hmm. And, I'm out here working, unlike Jeff. Jeff worked all summer. He deserved a week off.
Kind of a week. Couple days. Yeah. Okay.
But you made the most of those couple of days.
So, we'll get into what I've been playing. Well, put it this way. I only did one of my goals out of the, 4 I have. I'm just going to drop Castlevania and Toy Story for my goals for now. I'll just say when those happen.
I guess they're not even really gaming, but it's just like, those will be,
but I did not finish Splatoon story mode. Not that I didn't want to, but because I've been playing so much Persona.
There's a new love in your life.
There is. So, mine are go both for 2 weeks. Getting 2 weeks in Persona. I did 2 months.
Jeez.
I'm now 30 hours into the game. When I was like, 4 when we were here last time.
Yeah, you were less than me last week. Yeah. And now you're like 5 times what I have probably.
Yeah. I took advantage of the little time I had left.
But I think it's easy to say you've been enjoying Persona.
Oh, that's so good. So, I don't know what angle I want to go with this.
I mean, are you liking like the balance between? And then Jacob last week said that like some of the school stuff he was like disappointed. Are you happy in the balance between those?
I can see what he. I'm not. I'm still technically early in this game. Okay. When I'm 30 hours in.
It's one of those games. That's how it goes.
We're still a little more focused on school stuff, but I see what he means. I guess we probably said it, but just so people know, my experience with Persona, I played probably about 15, 20 hours of Persona 4 Golden, and then I've watched, and this means I didn't experience it, but I watched the Let's Play up to a certain point of Persona 4 Golden. So I at least know kind of some stuff that went on in its mechanics. so I can kind of compare them. Yeah, I see what he means. There's less school stuff, like, unless it pops up later. I'm pretty sure he said it didn't. There's no, like, school clubs or band or anything you could do like you could in Persona 4.
Right.
So I see what he means there. There's less school stuff. School is more of a thing you just do during the day, and access to talk to people and, I guess, pick up some books.
Do you feel like there's not as much freedom, maybe, to all that as there could be?
For the school stuff, yeah, I get that, but so far, I haven't seen it as a problem because there's so much other stuff I can do.
Right.
That losing just some of the school things that I may have not have felt like doing anyway, just depending, is not a big of a loss for me. But at the same time, I didn't go all the way through another Persona game, so my reaction to it is different.
And to other people, that might mean a lot more if you've had it.
I see the reason behind it.
It's one of those you can't miss what you didn't have, I guess.
Yeah. But I will say this, the main thing, I am enjoying the combat and going to dungeons significantly more than I did Persona 4.
Okay.
Which was part of the reason I dropped it.
Okay, yeah. I only watched some of Persona 4.
Yeah.
I didn't really get to play it.
The combat probably is, as a whole, as satisfying. Combat's really satisfying. Like, messing around with personas and fusing and figuring out that kind of stuff, I just love doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Sitting there for like 30 minutes thinking, what should I do with this? It wasn't actually like 30 minutes, but it took longer than probably.
I don't know. With Jeff, it might have been 30 minutes. Jeff deliberates a lot.
Maybe. You got to think, there's only so much money and stuff.
I know. No.
Yeah, which is kind of good. It's one of those things where it's stress. Persona 5 can be a stressful game.
Yeah.
Because,
totally. Especially for the uninitiated, which I kind of am. Like, you know.
Because, you have to plan your schedule because you only have so much time. You can only do so many of the confidants to maximality, and so you got to think who you want to spend more time with.
There's like deadlines, literally. Like you have to finish this palace by this certain day, and it's like, what if I fuse my personas wrong?
Yeah.
Or do make a dumb decision, and then I'm like underpowered, and the time's ticking.
And I haven't had a problem with that yet. I had no problems defeating bosses or anything so far. I might be overpowered because I
could see how that could be too stressful for some people and everything. And I'm still early in it, and I'm a little stressed with it.
What I'm saying is, I might be doing it wrong. I can see how you can do it, but the way I'm doing it right now, I don't have a lot of money. My money can quickly go, especially when I try to go equipment shopping. Yeah. So I kind of like that. It kind of fits with the whole stressful vibe. Like, okay, what should I spend money on?
Well, I feel like a lot of times games like this, when they have systems here, like maybe initially in the game they're kind of hard like that, but then after a while, like in so many RPGs and stuff, I have so much money that I don't even think about it anymore. Like, it doesn't become really a struggle of how to make money or how to do this, or you get ability points so easy that you don't even think about it anymore. But from what I've heard with Persona, and I've played a little bit, and from my little bit of time playing it, it does actually seem like, let's go buy weapons. It's like, okay, well, I can afford to get one character a weapon. Yeah. Or I can afford to get a few health items, but I can't just stock up.
Here's the thing right now as far as healing items, and I guess you can take this as a negative or not, and it could just be the way I'm playing. Because the way that I've been going through the dungeons, you do it over the course of multiple days.
Right.
I'm pretty much going to most of my team's SPs down, or at least my main characters. And that takes me a while to do that. I haven't had to worry about healing items doing that way because I just use healing moves to do it.
That's all I've been doing too. But
the only times I had to use items sometimes in boss battles, but even then I can still use a lot of healing moves because I'm usually going into those completely fresh, full SP.
Right.
You would hope you that anyway.
Yeah, you're hoping you can bail out of there.
So, yeah.
But there's a lot of things for not knowing about Persona. I should probably be contacting Jacob about it and stuff. Is like, I don't know how far I should make it into a palace before I call it quits, or if I should be worried about that so much, or
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends. Obviously, just go as far as you can.
Yeah.
Or it tells you like, hey, you can't go any farther. Let's go back. And so far, I guess so people know, and I guess for people who haven't played, don't know days, I'm about to really start the third dungeon, it seems like. Just based on the first two, they pretty much say at some point, hey, you're halfway there. So, and I usually got to the halfway point in one day. So I figure, okay, same pace. I can do it in one other day, which has been the case.
There we go.
So, obviously, and I guess it just depends how. I don't mean it's that against you. I guess how good you are or how used you are to that battle system.
No, and I'm having to get you're definitely gonna be better than me. Just you have some experience, and I think you're better at these games than I am anyway. And I'm still having to learn how to do everything. And I still sometimes I'll do a move or I'll do something I'm still learning. I'll have to be nope, that's not how that works. You know, like so. And they're still teaching me systems. You know?
So some stuff still comes up for me.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm kind of ready for them to stop teaching me. I'm ready for at least to have a decent section where it's like, okay, just let me play the game. But this is how JRPGs work.
Yeah, stuff will still come up because you get some new mechanics through confidants. I'm still getting those. What I'm liking is I'm having trouble learning how they did in Persona 4. I'm feeling like the stuff you get from the confidants and leveling them up feel like a lot more useful than what I remember from 4.
That's good.
Like, these are some stuff that can help you outside of, the castles to prepare.
Right.
And even the stuff that can help you manage your everyday life better. I'm not going to say what, but there's one in particular that will help you get things done.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. One thing I really got to say, and this is an obvious thing if you, know anything about Persona 4 and 5, the dungeons are so much better.
That's what I've heard. That's really what I've heard.
They're overall they're probably pretty. They're not the craziest thing ever. Pretty basic in design. A couple of puzzles here and there, but compared to 4, they're just so much better. They actually have personality to them.
There was a lot of 4s, like for how much style it has. Like a lot of the dungeons were kind of barren and just kind of.
They were just the same things, same format with just a slightly different coat of paint.
Yeah.
Like, there's actually some
different colors.
And, like, what kind of castle it is. Like, for example, the second dungeon is not a castle. It's based off a different kind of building.
Okay,
and it has puzzles and stuff in it, mechanics in it that fit that kind of place.
Yeah. Which is good. Because, honestly, even like Persona 5, a lot of the palaces, like, they're not all that impressive to me. They're everything else in the game isn't it? It's like just seep style. So I get it. And also this game came out on the PS3 as well, so that's also part of it. But yeah, I think that it could even be a step higher than what it is as far as just detail. A lot of times it's like a lot of the rooms I'm like, okay, there's gonna be this simple little chair, a desk, and it's just kind of like a flat direction that you go. But still.
Yeah, again, like I said, it's pretty basic, but a big step from 4.
Yeah, and but this is a game that's juggling. Like there's so many games in one with this. Basically, it's like turn-based thing, and then relationships, and then all that other stuff. So.
Yeah, time management, money, so much.
Well,
it's good stuff.
I'm sure if you keep listening to us, you will hear more about Persona 5 since it's going to start taking both of our times a lot.
Yeah. I guess neither of us have any really giant games. We'll play some games in between, but nothing of this magnitude right for a while.
Yeah, not for a while. I have. You'll hear next week. I'll have Uncharted to talk about. Yep. But that's really the only thing I can think, and that's going to be just a few sittings, and I'll be done.
And the week after that, hopefully, we'll have Mario plus Rabbids Presents.
The goatee.
Yes, the goatee. Honestly, it could be up there. At this point.
Which is crazy.
No one would have thought that when it was leaked.
Nope.
I'm excited.
All right, Jeffrey. All right, Jeffrey. Are you ready to get into the news?
Yes.
News jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Thank you.
We got some pretty good news here. A lot of release dates. Some delays.
Sad.
Yeah, and it's just some news for a bunch of different games.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good one. Okay, so let us get started. Well, we're gonna start with the NPD for July. I'm just getting all the information from Seth G. Macy from IGN. And the article thing he wrote for it said, according to figures released by the NPD group, Nintendo Switch was the top-selling console for July 2017. And Splatoon 2 was the month's best-selling game in the U.S.
Nintendo making that bank.
Yeah. Honestly, that is kind of surprising, but at the same time, I guess there's nothing big that came out in July.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Still impressive.
Yeah. Splatoon 2 success, coupled with new inventory released in support of the launch, helped drive Switch to the top spot. Overall, hardware spending was up 29% over July 2016. Sony's PlayStation 4 came in second, having taken the top-selling console spot for June 2017. Nintendo had 3 games in the top 7 over the month, making it the best-selling software publisher for the month. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy followed Splatoon 2 closely, coming in at number 2. Crash is also making bank.
Crazy.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto 5 remains at number 3, where it charted last month, which is astonishing given the game's age. GTA 5 is also the 4th best-selling game for 2017 so far, and the 5th over the last 12 months. And then here are the top 10 games in order for July. Splatoon 2 and Crash for number 2. Grand Theft Auto 5 for number 3. Final Fantasy 12 The Zodiac Age at number 4.
Heck
Darby helped
yes.
with that.
Heck yes.
Number 5, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Number 6, Injustice 2. Mario Kart 8 at number 7. Overwatch at number 8. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege at number 9. And NBA 2K17 at number 10. So, yeah.
So, yeah, would you ever have expected we have a Splatoon and Crash?
At number 1 and 2?
Yeah.
No.
The, like, cartoon-style games, like the kid games. These are just for kids.
I mean,
selling like
Crash
crazy.
being so high 2 months in a row is so surprising to me. And
Insane.
I said Splatoon 2 to be up there, but I guess I didn't expect number 1.
I
Partly
know.
because I always see, and this is fact, it's so much bigger in Japan.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's on the Switch, which only has so many consoles out right now.
Right, but I think they said it's already sold over 1 million.
Yeah, that was an
copies and-
update thing IGN put in there that
Yeah.
Nintendo says Splatoon has sold over 1 million copies, joining Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, ARMS, and 1-2 Switch as the, I guess, 5th million selling piece of Switch software.
So, I mean, that's awesome to, like, Nintendo's able to keep the momentum rolling by having a game that can chart at number 1 here. And even though, like, there might be a little bit of a drought from here because, like, even as good as I think Mario and plus Rabbids might be, I don't think it's going to sell like these games. I don't think you're going to get... It might surprise me.
Honestly, part of the reason Splatoon 2 sold that well because there's not much games on the Switch. Yeah. But I think Mario plus Rabbids will probably make maybe the top 10.
I mean, I can see that.
Oh,
I don't know if it's going to be like... I don't know if it's going to sell as much as, like, Splatoon 2 or maybe even ARMS, because ARMS did kind of overperform from what people were saying. And I might be completely wrong, but I mean, even if it does, like, Splatoon 2 was a good, like, at the end of the summer, boom, they have a big hit that can kind of carry them into fall. And even if they don't have another big hit like this until Odyssey, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Because Sony doesn't really have... I mean, like, Sony has Uncharted that's about to come out. There's a few other ones, but...
Every time for Uncharted, it's weird, though. It's an Uncharted game. It's technically a full game, but no one's talking about it.
And it seems sad that no one's talking about it. I bet when it comes... Like, well, reviews are already saying that this game's awesome, so...
I checked just for, just... So my facts right. I think it was 86 on Metacritic.
Yeah. And all the major, like, publications were either like 9 or 8.5. I think IGN's the lowest one with like 7.5.
Yeah.
But then it's for the most part been around the 8 or 9 range, which is great.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Also, I mean, like, again, July. It's not like it's a big video game month, so I might read too far into it. But I'm excited to see Final Fantasy 12 in the top 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it is... I mean, I guess it's under GTA 5, 2013 game, but it's GTA 5.
Nah, not many games get over that, Darby, for whatever reason.
This isn't,
I'm just surprised Minecraft isn't on here.
That is surprising. But I hope people are buying 12. Like, I hope this means that, it got, like, maybe some people who slept on it before or thought that they didn't like it before and gave it a chance or something. Because, like, I will fight to the death for that game. The game's so good. Well, do you have any other MPD hot takes?
Nope. It's good for all these games involved, and
Nintendo keeps making that bank. I'm interested to see where Uncharted charts here.
Yeah.
And Mario plus Rabbids, both of those I'm very interested.
I guess unfortunately Mario plus Rabbids, I know things are like first day heavy for the most part, but it worked out for Crash, but this is a slightly busier time, I think. It comes out like at the very end of the month, so we'll see how that could affect its placing.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You'll see.
We shall see.
Yep. Let's move on, Darby. This comes from Andrew Goldfarb from IGN. Sega has announced that Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, will be released in North America, Europe, and Australia on March 20th, 2018. 2018 dates are coming now, Darby. We're getting them. For $89.99 in the US, and has a whole bunch of
all the foreign currencies.
Yeah. Sega will also offer an after-hours premium edition with a hardcover art book and bar-inspired paraphernalia, including 280ml glasses, 2 ice stones, and 2 Tojo Clan coasters. Get hyped. Aside from the premium edition, anyone who pre-orders Yakuza 6 will receive a launch edition that includes a hardcover art book. That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe Jake will be interested in that. He does seem interested in the Yakuza.
Yeah, we know nothing about Yakuza. I know this is the perfect time to get into it with all these.
Yeah. Do you have any interest level in Yakuza?
Nothing. Maybe if there wasn't so much already coming out, I could see myself at least looking into it more.
There are things about it that seems cool. It's like Japanese Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I mean,
and again, it's perfect time because Yakuza 0 came out earlier this year. Kiwami's just coming out.
I think it was earlier this year.
So you at least get the first two first games canonically right away. So
yeah, if there's ever been a place to jump in, I would guess that this is it.
And I've been hearing about it a lot because Ben and Hugh are from Easy Allies.
They really
they love Yakuza, man.
Oh yeah, I know. Like that's where the little bit of interest I have in it comes is like people who I follow in the gaming industry. That there's just every now and then you'll find someone who just really loves Yakuza. It feels like it has its audience that just loves it.
It's like a good game, but so many games.
Yeah, too many games.
Yep. So do you have anything else to say, Darby?
Not really.
Okay, then we will move on to another game that gets a 2018 release date. This comes from Alex Osborne from IGN. Compulsion Games has partnered with Gearbox Publishing to launch We Happy Few on April 13, 2018. In addition to the previously announced Xbox One and PC releases, a PS4 version will also launch on the same day. The game will be available both digitally and at retail for $60, up from $30, which it was like up until like last week on the Xbox store.
Right.
I should have jumped on that. Thanks to the studio's partnership with Gearbox, the scope of We Happy Few is expanding. As such, will feature a full-length story campaign based on 3 different characters and more than 250 unique encounters. Each playable character has their own set of unique benefits, as well as their own dark backstory. Let's see. Should have figured this out before if I wanted to read all this. Yeah, I'll just read some of it. Those who pre-order at select retailers will get a 15% discount and the Jolly Bolly Parasol in-game weapon. If you pre-order through the Microsoft Store, Steam, GOG.com, or Humble Store, you will get access to the alpha version when you reserve the game. Those who pre-order through the Windows 10 Store will get access to the alpha version when pre-orders open on the store this fall. Meanwhile, those who pre-order through the PlayStation Store will get an exclusive theme. I like the other pre-order stuff better. You actually get to play the game.
I do too.
Which, if I get the pre-order, I'll just do it on an Xbox.
But at least at some point, I didn't even know it was coming to PlayStation. So
no. This whole trailer was the announcement.
Okay. So at least we're getting it.
Yeah. Additionally, those who already own We Happy Few through Early Access or the game preview program will get the full game for no additional cost when it launches in April. Again, wish I jumped on it. Okay, and the last thing. A collector edition, which doesn't include a copy of the game, but instead features various 60s-inspired items, will be available for $150. Included in the We Happy Few collector set is a replica Bobby mask, the game's soundtrack on vinyl, a Joy alarm clock, and a U-Look smashing lamp, and more.
All right. So what do you want to talk about first, Jeff?
Yeah, there's a lot there. Just when we start, hey, it's coming to PS4.
It's coming to PS4.
So you can play it.
I can. I was interested in this game, but I never thought it was coming to PS4, so I honestly kind of never looked too much into it. I saw like
yeah, so I guess how much do you know about this game? And
I know, like
I always just kind of followed it because it always had my interest.
I haven't followed it that closely. Like I know the thing about everyone takes the joy or whatever, and like they see a happy world when it's actually this other thing or whatever. And I know it's some sort of kind of survival horror-ish type thing. Yeah, but I don't know a whole lot about like that minute-to-minute gameplay.
Okay, so I guess the way this game happened, they released trailers in the beginning to the public, which most people saw. If you really follow the game, you knew differently. They made kind of like a mainly story-based thing.
Right.
But once you really played it, and they kind of revealed that, like, I think this past E3, that was mainly more gameplay, and it didn't have much of a story as people thought. Wasn't as story focused.
I do remember. Yeah, that sounds.
So yeah, people were upset with that. Some people really enjoyed the gameplay, but some people were just upset about the lack of a story thing, or as focused on, at least in the alpha version,
right.
or whatever people were playing. And so people took that out on the game. But it seems like with this, they're looking at putting more of a story thing in there.
Yeah.
Or at least expanding what they had, because they're always going to have story elements. So
right.
For that reason, I'm okay with it being technically pushed back.
Yeah.
A lot.
yeah, to April next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because there's so much time there, like, that gives them time to get it right. If it was still coming out at the same time, they're like, yeah, we added a story, I'd be like, that story's probably not very good, if it was just rushed in there. But if it's something that they can actually take time to do, you know, that could be different. Because the whole vibe of this game is very cool, very weird, you know.
Yeah, and as far as, like, again, I have an Xbox, so, if I have a little gap in the games I really want to play, I'm very interested, I could always get this and get some early impressions.
Yeah.
Out of the game and just play it, which I wish Sony would be okay with doing this.
I mean, is there... So it's not going there because Sony doesn't do the whole early access type thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's why, they're not... That's why you can't do it on the PlayStation Store, so...
Right.
That may be the reason I get it on Xbox instead of Sony.
Yeah.
So if I really want it, I can get it early.
I mean, if you have both, you might as well. You know?
This doesn't like a game that will...
It's not like a multiplayer thing you're going to need to play with us or something. Yeah.
So, I think me and you should both look more into this and maybe come up with some impressions later. I'm really interested in this.
I need to look more into it. I should have looked more into it before now. It's just one of those things that's I've kind of forgotten about.
Now, we have to talk one of the most controversial things about this announcement, the collector's version. We kind of chatted a little before the podcast.
Yeah, so collector's version, if you didn't catch it, does not include the game in it. It's just like basically what you would get in the collector's version, like the extra stuff.
Minus game. And it being $150 without the game, without the $60 game, has upset some people.
And this is weird, but there is kind of a reason for it, right, Joe?
Yeah, from what I saw, or this could be an excuse people made up, but I saw this post, around that. The reason they did not put the game in this, at least in the default collector's version, is because a bunch of people who probably would get this and really want the game already have it on early access on, PC and Xbox. So they're like, well, we don't want these people to pay for the game twice. They already have it if they really want this, so we just want to include the game in the collector's edition, which I'm like, okay, that sounds fair.
I mean, it's weird, but I can't think of a better solution. I mean, unless the only thing is if you had like a collector's edition with the game and one without the game. But
that could confuse people.
It could confuse people, and I don't know the intricacies of that. That might cost a lot more to have two different types, two different versions of the collector's edition. It might just be simpler on their end to just be like, if you want the game and this, you just buy it separately. It's weird. It's a little annoying, but it's not that hard to just buy both. You know, like,
I guess you can argue that it make it cost more money, but then just putting the game in there would shoot this thing. I would assume $200.
Well, it's already $150 without the game. So
I will say this: if you're really into the vibe of this game, I guess what you're getting is technically not bad, because at least based off this, you get a replica mask thing, which that's a kind of cool collectible. Mm-hmm. If you really like vinyl, you get that.
Yeah.
You get an alarm clock and a lamp.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's some pretty serious stuff. Usually, you just get some crappy little figurine or something.
So, after looking at this, I'm kind of like, okay, about them not doing that decision, or
I don't think it's the biggest deal.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the biggest problem.
Again, the people who probably really want this already have it on early access.
I've always, kind of a side note, I've always been like, I want to know what people like, what's in the person's mindset when someone buys like a collector thing like this crazy collector's edition for a new IP, like right when it comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, I get this is a little different because you can play it, I guess, beforehand, so you can kind of know if you like it or not. But I would always be worried, what if I don't love this much?
I hear you.
Enough to spend $200 and have a crazy mask or something.
And that's the same thing with any Kickstarter.
Yeah.
With the crazy
that is also true.
Upper tiers.
I guess just me also because I don't have a disposable income like that. The only thing I would even consider doing collector stuff like this is if it's some franchise that I love and that I'm very, tight with. But.
Yeah, they're another franchise. If I had disposable income, I would consider it for, depending on what it was in it. But yeah.
Yeah. But
like you
something
said,
brand new, I'd be worried
brand
about
new
pulling
IP,
that trigger.
Yeah, again, though, I guess what helps with this, though, is a bunch of people are already playing it.
Yeah, and that does help.
Not a bunch, but people are already playing it.
Yeah, so you can already kind of have an idea, at least. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Anything else to add about this game, Darby?
I don't. Let's move on to maybe the biggest and saddest news of the week.
Yeah. This is going to be a long one, just because there are a bunch of different, I guess, things to add on to this, other than the initial story. If it seems like it's going long, I'll try to skip some stuff, so I'm sorry, people.
Bear with us.
Okay, this comes from Michael McWhirter from Polygon. I hate saying names.
Sure.
Microsoft is delaying the release of Crackdown 3 from November 7, 2017 to spring 2018, the company confirmed to Polygon. Shannon Loftus, Microsoft Studios Publishing General Manager, said the company is delaying the Xbox One and Windows PC game to give development teams Regent Games, Sumo Digital, and Cloud9 extra time to ensure a quality experience. He said in an email interview with Polygon, "We're very excited about Crackdown 3, and so are many fans, and so it's a difficult call to remove the release date. However, we want to make sure that to deliver the right game, with the right quality and at the right time. Crackdown 3 is a hugely ambitious game, and we want to ensure we deliver the right experiences all the way through every part of the game, whether that's the campaign, co-op multiplayer, or a competitive multiplayer mode Wrecking Zone. Getting the balance right between the three modes is important, and we are going to take the extra development time to ensure that, and gamers can expect Crackdown 3 in the spring of 2018. So, yeah, did you want to take this piece by piece?
Yeah, we can start there. So, I mean, I'm interested to see, did you think there was any possibility that this got delayed?
I would say very little. I would have said maybe 5%.
I thought this was like, because Xbox One X needs everything it can get as far as selling to people.
He talks about that later. We'll get into that. Like, how they're going to sell the Xbox One X.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But it seemed like this is the one they needed. They kind of needed for this.
They need a giant exclusive that's going to, like, first-party game.
Yeah, and we'll get into that more later. But, like, even throw Xbox One X out the window, Crackdown 3 has been... We've been talking about Crackdown 3 for years.
It was originally announced at E3 2014 was the next game I was going to read. So.
Yeah, for years. And at this point, I'm starting to worry, like, that this game's going to feel... I was already worried about it a little bit, but I'm going to feel like this game's going to be really outdated because it's just been in development for so long.
Yeah.
It's going to be like kind of like a Mass Effect Andromeda almost, where it's kind of made in a vacuum or made, you know, with older mechanics in mind. And, you know, just from the game's perspective, I worry. But the bigger story to me is what it does with the Xbox One X. Which,
yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah. I guess we can get into all that once we read some more.
Yeah,
so
we'll read on some.
Okay, like I said, Crackdown 3 was originally announced at E3 2014, and at one point was targeting a second half of 2016 release date. And Loftus continues to say, Crackdown 3 is an incredibly ambitious project that pushes the technological envelope with immersive true 4K gameplay, cloud computing competitive multiplayer, and a sprawling and futuristic open world. Those terms. So the team has been working extremely hard to deliver a great experience for fans, and this extra time will help us do just that. And let's see. And I'll just give a quick thing of this so I don't read it all. They mentioned, Polygon mentioned, and then Loftus kind of said a little quote on it about people had a problem with the way it looked. It did not look particularly great.
Right.
So yeah, mentioned, you know, this will give them a chance to polish it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry people, we're back. The Darby's phone decided to get really hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hot out there, you know?
It is pretty hot out there.
Yeah, so, I guess depending how Darby does it, only half this podcast will have video.
Sorry guys, we are a very, homemade production here,
yes.
But
so yeah.
This is why you love us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, well, Crackdown 3, Jeff.
Yes. Okay, we'll get into, I guess, what we'll mainly be talking about with this whole thing.
Right.
Crackdown 3 was previously scheduled to launch the same day Microsoft's new console, Xbox One X, hit stores. And McWhorter asked, or this is McWhorter talking, I asked Loftus about the gap that Crackdown's lead delay now leaves in Xbox One X launch lineup. And she emphasized that the long list of platform exclusives and titles that will be enhanced by the more powerful Xbox One hardware arriving later that year. So yeah, Loftus went on to say, Xbox One X launch lineup will be one of the greatest lineups of games ever available with a major new console release. Lies. Okay. Not only are there several new Xbox exclusives such as Forza Motorsport 7, Cuphead, Super Lucky's Tale, and the console launch exclusive PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Okay, that's a big one.
Yeah.
There's an incredible list of titles coming this holiday, including Middle-earth, Shadow of War, Assassin's Creed Origins, Call of Duty World War II, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Destiny, and blah, blah, blah. So on and so on. With many of these titles enhanced to play better on Xbox One X. With so many great exclusives and... So many great exclusives and new games to play, Crackdown 3 would have shipped into an incredibly crowded market. And then finished by saying, I'm proud of the progress and dedication the Crackdown 3 team has shown and their deep passion and love for this IP. We think it deserves the time we're giving it. We think our partners deserve the extra time to ensure we deliver the experience that Crackdown fans deserve. We hope they love it as much as we do. That's the end of that article.
So, yeah. For I don't want to overreact too much to it, but it feels like a pretty big blow when it comes to the Xbox One X, because this is the one that they put, E3 come out here, put it on the date, same release date as the Xbox One X, and this is one of the games that everyone's been talking about the most when they talk about Xbox first party exclusives, because there's not many of them. This is the central one they're talking about. And to come out in E3 and that's your main message, you get Terry Crews on the thing or whatever, and you try to do all that, it really seemed like this is the horse they were betting on.
Yeah.
And for that to get delayed again like this, obviously, like we already said, it makes me worry about the game, but also makes me worry about the Xbox One X and not having a big flagship thing to tie it to.
Yeah. And well, this whole thing, the Xbox / Microsoft in general, they lack exclusives.
They do.
And again, we just talked about them losing one. We happy few. I mean, we can assume it was kind of the PS4, but up until now, we knew new on consoles, or at least coming on Xbox, at least at first. It kind of technically is, because you can get it now.
Yeah, it's more
and
early
play it
access
now.
thing.
But when it officially comes out, it's coming on PS4 that same day. So this whole thing of what Microsoft doing as far as games go, and is that the reason they're behind, or is it a whole bunch of other things?
So, I mean, this makes me feel worse about how the X might sell this holiday.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it needed something to tie to it, and I feel like PlayStation might still outsell them this holiday, even though they have a new console. Or, it might at least be closer than they would probably like for it to be. And, I mean, that's just kind of my take on it. Who knows, I could be wrong.
But Dart, you're forgetting one main thing. I even mentioned the article. There's one big game coming out on that day. Super Lucky's Tale.
You're right, they're fine. They're perfectly fine without it.
But, here's one thing that could help it, and this is at this point, and it's becoming more increasingly a big deal. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
And that's actually a big...
That's legitimately a big deal.
And we should pause before if there's anyone screaming at us, I know that Forza is a huge deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of don't even have to be said. It's
but here's the thing, though. Let's say a lot of external income, will the people who want Forza be the kind of people who want the Xbox One X?
Some of them, yes.
Yeah,
because a lot of racing game people like the really high def thing.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Not to maybe a number that will. There might still be a lot of people who are not at all sold on what Xbox is doing, but they want to play Forza. So they're like, I'm not gonna spend a few $100s to get. I'm not even gonna sell my Xbox One and get that. When I could just buy it. You could still buy it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there is some crossover, but the kind of people who listen to this kind of podcast or any gaming podcast are the type of people who would consider the Xbox One X. Those aren't necessarily people who go out to buy Forza.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Or at least for the most part. There obviously is some, but
it's more of a
Forza sells huge, but you don't hear about it in these circles.
Yeah. It's just kind of out of our reach. Yeah. But, yeah, PlayerUnknown's Battleground is a very big deal. the Xbox has been able to hold on to that, and especially it's becoming more and like they've had that exclusivity for a while, but it's becoming more and more
of a huge deal.
They have it as player in those battlegrounds becomes crazy huge.
Yeah, and it makes it sound like here it should. I mean, there's no date yet. It should launch around. It sounds like around that time.
If they can get that in holiday, that would help a lot.
It's not even technically out on Steam yet, so I guess they'll just do it in one go. But yeah, I mean, it may not sell Xbox One X's, but it could get people onto the Xbox One S train.
Yeah,
just to get the console played.
Yeah.
I mean, despite you not being on there, I'm kind of considering picking this game up.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really want to play this game, but it's not enough to buy an Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, again, I already have it, so.
Yeah.
So, it's at least worth considering.
No,
getting that game.
It is.
Yeah.
But, what if Xbox One X, just theoretically, we don't have to go talk about this too long because we've already been on this topic a lot. If Xbox One X does ultimately fail, and I'm not saying I don't want it to, but just if it does, where does this leave Xbox for the rest of this generation and going into the next? Do they basically just have to wait for PlayStation to decide when it's time for the next generation, and then just hope to catch them that time? Or if you're Xbox, do you stop with consoles and do you just go PC?
Here's the thing that they've kind of... I mean, it's probably the case for the other ones too, but Xbox has kind of come up and... Well, maybe not them, but people kind of said... The Xbox division of Microsoft has never made money.
Yeah.
So, it could be a thing of, this where we stop? Do they focus on PC, or do they even really do much of anything with that?
If it gets bad enough... I think we are actually legitimately dangerously close to that being.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: the reason Microsoft is even making the games they are is to try to sell Xboxes.
Right.
If they don't sell Xboxes, will they even make any of the games they are making? Will Halo be done? What happens with that?
If they don't think it's worth it, if there's not enough people, if it's not working out there, they might not.
Or do they, maybe try to at least make some money off and then sell the rights to a bunch of their IPs?
And you're already seeing even as small as not that small, but We Happy Few, probably at some point that was going to be a lot more of an Xbox exclusive, but We Happy Few was probably we need to get this on PlayStation. That's where more people are, and there's a lot of those where it's or even I think Inside was an exclusive for a month maybe. Mm-hmm. A lot of that's happening where they're getting off of the Xbox exclusivity because that sets you at a downside if you're a game developer.
Yeah.
But, and this could be a whole nother conversation, it probably will be, I'll probably have this as a main topic at some point, but I don't want that future at all because we're already seeing ways that PlayStation's getting a little too comfortable with their lead in the way that they don't do cross-platform play because they don't have to. Xbox can do it, but they're so far in the lead that the pressure's not that high. They don't really have to. Early access. Xbox is allowing We Happy Few and these other things in the early access, and PlayStation doesn't really do that.
The Games Pass and a bunch of little stuff like that.
Yeah, Games Pass. There's a lot of things that Xbox is
doing right.
Is doing right now, probably in a desperate attempt to gain some ground.
Yeah.
But obviously, they don't have enough sway to influence PlayStation. Yeah. And if they go away completely, then what's going to be forcing PlayStation to really do anything?
Their only competitor, and I'm doing quotes, is Nintendo.
But they're working in two different spheres.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of half serious.
I want PlayStation to keep an even competitor. And I do hope that Xbox does stay in next generation, and I hope it's more even next time.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's just better for everyone when that happens.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Well, let's move on. We talked about that for a long time.
Yeah, making the main topic happy. When we have someone else here.
That will be at some point.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Okay, so let's get some good Xbox One news out there, I guess.
Let's do it.
It's a small thing. It's from Alex Gillidaw from IGN. A retailer has now added a page listing an Xbox One version of the Crash trilogy, adding to mounting evidence that it's on the way. Spotted by Game Rant on Base.com, the listing suggests a December 8th release date, but includes no further details.
It's not that big. It's not that small of a thing. That's actually pretty big.
Yeah.
The fact that how much Crash is already sold on PS4 alone.
Yeah.
If this game gets a whole nother console to sell on in the holiday, obviously like it doesn't have as much history in the Xbox, but still,
Yeah, it's something.
It is.
Activision say more. It's like, okay, we got this game selling really well on one console. Now let's put it on another.
If you're Activision, it's duh. It's like Sony doesn't. You think of Crash as a Sony character, but it's like it's owned by Activision now. They can do what they want with it.
I mean, it's been on Xbox before, so I mean, yeah. So, at least I think it has. I have no reason to doubt that.
I'm sure one of the some of the later stuff probably did. At some point, everyone stopped paying attention.
Yeah. So not much to add to that. I guess that's good for Crash, good for Microsoft, it's good for everyone.
So just how much will this game sell?
Yep.
When it's all said and done.
Find out in January.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to the fighting game corner. We have lots of fighting game news, everyone.
Get ready.
Yep. Okay, first one comes from Andrew Gover of IGN. Square Enix has announced that Dissidia Final Fantasy NT will be released for PlayStation 4 on January 30th, 2018. 2018 games just keep on coming, Darby.
Keep coming.
Multiple versions will be available for pre-order, including an Ultimate Collector's Edition, which features an 8.25-inch Warrior of Light statue, soundtrack, 8-page art book, and steelbook case. The set will also include a season patch, which will add 6 additional characters post-launch. They're already talking about DLC. I don't like it. Okay. The Ultimate Collector's Edition will be $190. And is available exclusively from the Square Enix online store. So yeah. And a Steelbook Brawler Edition will be available at the standard $60 for anyone who pre-orders, and will offer one of 3 case designs featuring characters from the series. A Digital Deluxe Edition featuring 5 songs in the Season Pass will also be available digitally for $85. So yeah. Release date earlier in the year than I was thinking.
Yes. Very first month. So.
Yep, and there's a crazy expensive Deluxe Edition I'm not even going to consider getting, because why would I?
$200 or almost, yeah.
Yeah. And right at the moment, for being honest, right now it's on the side of it. I may get this game, or at least when it's way too
somehow sale. This was on the lower end of fighting games we're interested in.
Yeah,
because with Dragon Ball FighterZ obviously at the top
tier,
and we already have Injustice. You know.
So we're generally good with fighters.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, especially from your perspective, that there's a Dissidia game coming out and maybe you won't get it. You know,
at least right away.
Yeah. You getting that? When does the beta start?
I can't remember what they said.
Well, whenever that.
I mean, they announced it. I just can't remember when.
Whenever that comes, I'm saying look for impressions of that.
Yep. So yeah, they did the Steelbook thing. Yeah, they have 3 different covers with a whole bunch of multiple different 6 characters on each one. So you have to get lucky to get the character you want.
Is it just random?
Yeah, it's random who it's on. There's no.
So reason. If you go to one GameStop, they'll have just everyone might have different covers and stuff, and
yes, or this might just be on the Square Enix store. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I guess they technically not say. I don't know. So, yeah.
If you're interested in this, go look up all that stuff.
Yep, and 6 additional characters post launch. Well, they're going to be old characters because they haven't announced them all yet.
Probably. What do you think about just real quick? What do you think about the January release date? For how this game might sell.
I don't think that's bad. I mean, right now we have nothing around there, especially in this kind of thing. I mean, even if I'm just going to hypothetically, let's say Dragon Ball FighterZ comes out that day, doesn't mean much because this is a whole different kind of fighter.
Yeah,
and a different audience for the most part.
I think this is the deal for the most part, especially in America, is whoever's going to get it or is interested in getting it probably already knows about it and they're going to make their decision. I don't really know if this idea is going to grab people outside of that.
Probably not.
I mean,
it might grab some more people, but being on a console, PS4 potentially. But,
and it'll help. Yeah.
Nothing crazy, probably.
I expect there's a pretty clear ceiling to this, and I hope that they see that too. Yes.
Okay, so ready to move on, Darby?
I am.
Now we got some very exciting news for Dragon Ball FighterZ. This comes from Matt Davis from IGN. Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta, Android 16, and Android 18 have been announced for Bandai Namco's upcoming Dragon Ball FighterZ. Let the hype begin. Silicon Herrera, I pronounced that really wrong, but we're going to stick with it, has received information from the latest issue of Jump Magazine, which details the new arrivals for the long-running franchise's new brawler. Details are fairly thin, but Android 18 will definitely be a playable character, and seems to have access to a special combo attack with Android 17. Although whether the latter is actually playable or only appears as support is not yet confirmed. People are rioting over that, by the way. We'll get into that. Continuing the Android theme, Android 16 is also returning in a new What If mode, which is described as a super high-end anime mode, which will feature Android 16's resurrection, subsequent assault on the Super Warriors. Hype. Oh, and gameplay news, and this is awesome. An online TV-themed party mode has been announced, allowing players to team up to battle each other, with the ability to switch out in real time, so that's 6 players in one match, each selecting a character.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like me, you, and Alice can go online and pick one character and be a team.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, that's the news. I'm sorry, Darby. I know you don't... Well, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean... I know, like some of the people that were announced, so that's cool. I know Android 18, kind of.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about another Goku and another Vegeta? Vegetable, as our friend likes to call him.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't have.
I just mainly mess with you. I thought so.
Yeah, you go for it. This is you, Jeff.
Okay, let's go for it. Okay, so interesting things that may not be in. Well, I guess I'll just run down the character announcements. See how I feel. Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta, I guess it's kind of disappointing in the way that we already have a Goku and Vegeta. There's another form version of them. But I knew this was coming. They're the new hit thing, the blues.
Oh, okay. So what does the blue mean?
Okay, so they made the name better. It's that, you've heard me and Alex joke about it, that Super Saiyan God's Super Saiyan thing.
Oh, yeah.
They just call it Super Saiyan Blue because their hair turns blue.
Their hair turns blue?
Yeah, they have a blue aura. It looks pretty cool, actually.
Mixing it up.
Yep. So, and I guess if you think about this realistically, I guess depending how much they change them up, these are kind of like in the clones in Smash. They don't really take a spot. Okay. They just, it's either we get those or we don't have people in those spots. At least the way I'm looking at it right now, I guess, until we see gameplay.
Okay.
And the androids that are announced, I am happy. Android 16. Darby, you're actually like, is that the redhead one? The dumb-looking one?
And I was right.
Yeah.
He does look dumb, right?
Yeah.
I guess according to you, he's not like he's not the cartoon dumb that I'm expecting he is. But
yeah, he's just a soulless machine for the most part. He kind of gets his soul. It's weird. Okay. But I'm happy with his inclusion. That's probably the main reason he's in, is because he's the big like brawler type, which is lacking so far.
And that's your type of dude.
Yeah. So character variety, I like it, and I'm happy for Android 18.
Yeah.
Plus, this is like one of the few female fighters that are.
Yeah, obviously I don't know the wide breadth of the Dragon Ball stuff, but I don't know many female Dragon Ball characters
that can fight. There are a couple they could pull from. Some of them they may have to go to Super, the newest series, to do from.
Yeah, isn't there did some girl go Super Saiyan now or something? Yeah. That was a big deal.
There are 2 of them that go Super Saiyan. But you can argue they're too new. But some people have been wondering this whole time, are they going to go into like Dragon Ball Super territory?
Yeah.
People, think Super Saiyan Blue, Goku and Vegeta. That's kind of a yes, but they're technically in the Dragon Ball Z movies. But in the magazine, I saw the scans. Goku's doing a move thing that was only in Super. So they're using some stuff from that, so there's going to be some like Super characters and stuff in there.
Do people like Super?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed thing. I think part of it, if I'm being honest, some of it are not turning their, gotta let the nostalgia flow, and some people are thinking Dragon Ball Z is better than it actually is.
Well, yeah. Lots of rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And partly the difference between the English and Japanese, the way they do things. So, yeah, overall I'm pretty excited, Okay with these characters overall, because none of the really big surprise, I guess, Android 16. A big surprise is Android 17 may not be a character. It's just helping Android 18. People are upset about that. But who knows? He might be in her moveset. He might be a playable fighter. They might be costumes. They might switch. Who knows?
Are they an item?
They're twins.
Or no, they're not an item. Krillin is an item.
Android 18. Yeah. See, Krillin won the series.
Yeah.
Everyone makes jokes, but he won.
Somehow.
So yeah, and I'm happy about they're just being a story mode. It's going to be dumb, but that's what you expect out of these things.
Yeah.
And the online mode sounds cool. So yeah.
All right, Jeff, we are running long. We need to move on.
Yes.
I know you could talk about Dragon Ball forever.
I can. Okay, on to a more controversial game. Okay. This... Oh, I forget to get in. Give me 1 second, people. Blah, blah, blah. This comes from Chris Pereira from GameSpot. Okay. And this whole thing's about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Along with a new story trailer, which features the improved version of Chun-Li's face. Breaking news. Capcom has shared some new details about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Perhaps to reassure fans who are upset with the limited numbers of modes in Street Fighter V at launch, the company has outlined Infinite's full suite of game modes. While there's nothing earth-shattering to be discovered, the list does highlight the many ways you'll be able to play Infinite offline and online. There's a story mode that was featured in today's trailer, versus mode for 2 players or 1 player against the computer, and mission mode, which consists of tutorials and character-specific challenges. And online, which includes ranked and casual modes, including a beginner's league. And they have Capcom released a full list of the modes and more details about them. It's up on GameSpot, and you can probably find them on any one site that's talking about this news. I'm just not going to read them all off now, though. Also, Capcom will feature the game at Gamescom, which is this upcoming week, where it will showcase its newest characters, Ghost Rider, Dormammu, Firebrand, and Jeddah. Most of these were announced a while ago, so I don't know. You can check out everyone that's playable, and the Marvel vs. Capcom thing online, and Infinite launches for PS4, Xbox One, and PC on September 19th. So 1 month from today.
Yeah, coming up.
Yep. So, yeah. So, what'd you think of this story mode trailer?
I thought it looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
Chun-Li's face improved.
Chun-Li's face was improved. I kind of only barely saw it, but
improved.
Yeah. I just think the dialogue is just very cheesy, kind of not in a great way, just in a kind of uninteresting
We're doing
way.
A thing mode.
Yeah. And I still just hate the art style. But at the end of the day, the story mode doesn't really matter that much for this game. What matters is the gameplay, and from a lot of accounts, the gameplay is actually good. A lot of people who've tried the game, and I think at least to me, that's what it ultimately matters. Obviously, it would be nice if I liked the art style and I liked the story, but I'm not impressed with it. I don't know about you.
There are lots of things to potentially complain about Marvel vs. Capcom about. Like you said, story mode doesn't look particularly great, and I agree. It mainly comes down to gameplay's the most important thing, but we can't, just say that's the only thing that matters. Art style matters.
I think art style matters more than story. Art style matters a good bit. I would probably be more excited about this game if I liked the way it looked.
I know this will make us run a little longer, but something to talk about, which is supposed to be important for these games, the roster.
Yeah, so the final roster here.
Yes, the final roster. I'm just going to go through the Marvel and Capcom side. We'll do one by one, say how we feel about that, then just say the whole thing, I guess, after. And there are 2 DLC characters announced, so we'll say that as well. And the list I have also mentions what character are new, so I'll throw that in as well, which I feel is also important.
Okay.
On the Marvel side, Captain America, Captain Marvel, who is new, Doctor Strange, Dormammu, Gamora, who is new, Ghost Rider, Hawkeye, Hulk, Iron Man, Nova, Rocket Raccoon, Spider-Man, Thanos, Thor, and Ultron, who is new. And DLC is Black Panther. He's in the story, but you gotta buy him. So, yeah. If you've been following this game at all, you probably realized, hey, a lot of MCU stuff. It's not surprising, but
I mean, it makes... If I'm trying to make money, that's what I would do too. It's not exciting, but...
No, it isn't. For a Marvel fan, this is probably about as bland as you can get.
It's pretty by the books. There's only a few in there that I would say are anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that are out of the ordinary is Dormammu, who is already... He's not new, So
he was in the last game.
Because you think even the ones they added there and new, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy characters, which is... At this point, MCU, top of the MCU.
The 3 Marvel characters that are new, only 3 of them are Captain Marvel, Gamora, and Ultron.
Yeah.
And, Gamora is, like, the least, based on what I know from the public, she's probably the least exciting pick.
Yeah, I mean, I like her, but as far as, like, a moveset in a fighting game, I don't know what really would be that interesting about her exactly. I mean, I haven't seen much, but...
So,
let's move on to Capcom.
Okay. Arthur, Chris Redfield, Chun-Li, Dante, Firebrand, Frank West, Hagar, Jeddah, who was new. Took that long to get to a new character. Morgan, Nemesis, Ryu, Spencer, and if you don't know who that is, you're not alone. Strider, Mega Man X, who is new, and Zero for Mega Man. And Sigma, who is part of Ultron Sigma, the main character, is DLC. The main antagonist, yeah. So
Ultron's not DLC, but Sigma is.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. So again, the Capcom is also very by the book. Nothing surprising there, except for Jeddah.
As far as new characters for a sequel, it's not that exciting.
I mean, here's a lot of people's complaints after hearing this final roster. There's only 30 characters that are not, not counting the DLC. Only 5 are new.
That's pretty disappointing.
And there are less characters than the last game. And there are a lot of reused movesets and stuff.
When you compare that to, I don't know what the actual final number were, but I feel like it's a lot more exciting than Injustice 2. New characters.
I will say this. This has 2 more fighters than the base Injustice roster, but this is also taking from 2 different universes and a crossover thing.
Exactly.
Which is something to, you think about.
Yeah.
And
they didn't have to dig around as deep into the well as Injustice 2 did. Anyway.
And about half of Injustice 2's roster is new.
Yeah. It's...
And also it's a... I don't know. I'm just not going to sit here and compare them.
I'm very, very interested to see how this game does with all the rocky road they've had for pre-release. So.
And in the end, it'll probably... Well, okay, Capcom has crazy expectations for all their games that are unrealistic, so they probably won't meet their expectations at this point.
Probably.
But as far as normal people expectations, it could do well if the gameplay is really good.
Yeah.
And it's received well from the fighting game community. Because again, while we can say the story mode matters to the more casual crowd, which it does, and if it's bad, that'll hurt sales. Roster being boring, or we think it's boring, but again, casual people, it could be exciting because of all the MCU guys.
Yeah, they might not have a history with the rest of it, and they just see Thor and
But at the same time, we're talking about the art style will hurt this game.
I think so.
I mean, in the beginning, there were a lot of comments about saying, hey, this looks like a phone game.
It does. Yeah.
So,
all right, well, let's move on, Jeffrey.
Okay, this is going to be a quick thing to end the fighting game stuff. It's got this from Kevin Knezovic from GameSpot. Starfire came out from Injustice 2's Fighter Pack 1 DLC recently. This upcoming week at Gamescom on August 23rd at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. There's going to be a stream including DJ Steve Aoki and Don Diablo, and they're going to announce the Fighter Pack 2. So
Fighter Pack 2 incoming.
This upcoming week. We will be talking about that next week for sure.
Faux show.
Yes. And we don't have to go into predictions. It's probably going to be Black Manta and 2 more characters.
Adam.
Yeah. I'm just going to assume Black Manta is going to be in the second DLC pack. Whoever else they throw with him, I don't know. So yeah. Okay. On to the next story. This comes from Matt Davidson from IGN. Shenmue 3 is one step closer to coming to us, Darby. Well, maybe not us, but people in general.
Not us, but the world.
Yeah. With the announcement that the long gestating video game is to be published by Deep Silver. In a press release available from the official Shenmue 3 site, series creator Yu Suzuki has spoken of his confidence in both the game and the new partnership, citing Deep Silver's deep passion for bringing Japanese titles to the rest of the world. The publisher certainly has form. Recent releases include both Persona 5 and Yakuza Kiwami.
So, one step closer.
Yep. How much we can say about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's not much to say, but good for that.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, let's move on.
Yeah. Last story. This comes from Mike McWhorter from Polygon. McWhorter? I don't know.
All right, Caesar, you can't leave. You're just going to yell the whole time. All right, let's move on. Speaking of cats.
Yeah. The next game from the creator of Deadly Premonition and D4, Hidetaka Swery, is that how you pronounce it? So a hero.
None
of those words are easy.
Where's Jacob when you need him?
Yes, is a role-playing game set in a rural English town whose residents turn into cats at night. It's called The Good Life, and it's the first game for Swery's new studio, White Owls. The Good Life is set in the town of Rainy Woods. That was the working title of Swery's Daily Premonition, by the way, and stars Naomi, a photographer from New York who discovers the town's very bizarre secret. Here's the game's official story description. At night, all the town's residents turn into cats. Why does this happen? Is this why everyone in town is so happy? No one seems to remember what they do at night. Naomi is here to find out what's going on in Rainy Woods. Now, the townspeople aren't the only ones who get to roam around at night as a cat. Naomi does too. Once the sun sets, you'll get to explore Rainy Woods and collect clues and important items connected to the events of the story. The town becomes a very different place at night, as certain paths, rooftops, and attics can only be accessed by cats.
Of course.
According to Swery, I'm butchering that. I'm sorry, Jacob. He's gonna kill me. The Good Life will inherit the spirit of Daily Premonition, which he calls his most representative work, but it will also feature a brand new style of gameplay. He calls the mystery game a kind of daily life RPG. He goes on to say, I'm positive that the happiest town in the world and the most bizarre townspeople in the world will capture your heart and pull you deep into the world. I'm sure this game will make a lot of people happy. And Swery and White Owls are bringing The Good Life to crowdfunding platform Fig. The campaign for the game will go live September 2nd. In the meantime, there's a sneak peek with the game's logo and a piece of artwork via Fig's email about the campaign.
What is this game?
I don't know.
I mean, you'd expect this dude's a very weird dude. Sorry, Jacob, but
I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I'm so interested to watch Jacob play this game.
Not you play this game.
No, of course not. I'm so interested to watch Jacob play this.
What if it's like the best game ever, Dory?
It might be.
Yeah.
And I'll enjoy watching
it. A lot of people seem interested, like, what in the world is this?
No,
Can't help you be, like, curious.
No, you can't. You can't.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was for you, Jacob. Well, I think that's our last news story. So, Jeff, let's move into our main topic this week. And our topic is not open world fatigue. Let me scroll down. That's still coming one day.
We've had it been up there for like 2 months.
We've had it there a long time. Our topic is going to be kind of just loosely. It started with franchises that are just like works of entertainment that we want to see made into games. But then we just ended up including just games that we want to see.
Yep.
And me and Jeff kind of sit around talking about like, oh, this would be a cool idea for a game and stuff all the time. So I just got to the point where I'm like, let's just talk about them. You know, let's just go through and just like say some of them realistic, some of them kind of wishful thinking, you know, like never going to happen type things. But, you know, how they go.
Some a bit of both.
Some a bit of both. So I'm going to start with my first one. And this is one that I've wanted so much. And I really think it could happen. There's a chance of it. And that is an HBO, if you're listening.
Stop leaking stuff.
Yeah, HBO, stop leaking stuff first. But
I've been spoiled.
Listen to what I have to say, because I think a Game of Thrones RPG in the style of like Witcher 3 would be freaking fantastic. Like, I got this mostly because I've played 100 hours of Witcher 3, and just how crazy wide open that world is, and how detailed, and there's like this political struggle going on with all this, and there's these like towns that just are very lively with people going in it. It just screams to me like Westeros. Like, imagine if I could have this, but it's in this world that I care so much about, and millions of people care about HBO. And gaming is very big, so, you know. And just to have a game like that where it would obviously have to be open world. I would prefer for it to be something where you kind of make your own character who's just kind of like more of a smaller foot soldier. Sorry, guys. We're
losing camera again.
Camera is just not working today. So I would rather it be something like that, so that you can kind of experience the story and go like wherever you want, and it's not as like I don't want them to try to make me Jon Snow and telling the story or whatever. I'd rather exist in the world and have like other stories that I can go like experience where it makes sense that I'm doing that. it would be cool if you could like pick your allegiance or whatever, and you start in a different area depending on it. A lot of this would be hard to do, and it.
Or you start at the same place every time, and then your choice is you go to a certain side.
Yeah, like I would want your person to not have allegiances, so maybe you can pick your own.
Yeah,
that would be a cool thing for me. And I feel like back in the day, like Elder Scrolls originally, they wanted to make Elder Scrolls a Game of Thrones thing, but they couldn't, so they made Elder Scrolls. Back then, I don't think it would have worked as well, but now that we've seen what we can do, like with The Witcher and stuff, I think we could do it justice. Like some developer out there, some big developer, could do the RPG treatment to Game of Thrones and do it right. And I don't know about you, but like I would lose so much time in that if it had the same level of writing and stuff as like The Witcher 3 and Game of Thrones, but you could just explore. Like you just walk through King's Landing and then you're looking up at the things. You go to Dragonstone and there's like I think it would be great.
Yeah.
Is there anything what would you want them to do like story wise with a Game of Thrones like RPG?
Honestly, it's a hard thing. Like part of me is like, would I even want them to tell the regular story or their own version of it potentially?
Yeah.
Or their kind of little twist on it. Kind of may follow the general thing, but kind of mix it up a little bit in some ways.
Yeah. I could say, like, I would want a lot of the story, especially the side stories, to kind of be stuff that was happening while that. Like, new stories that are happening in the same world as that. I wouldn't want it to be, like, let's go through Game of Thrones. Like, the story is the story of Game of Thrones. I'd kind of rather it be something else, just that maybe is happening during the events of Game of Thrones or something.
No, Darry, what they're going to do is, so, when you play this game and you make your character or whatever, there's going to be some magic technology in there that hypnotizes you. So whenever you watch Game of Thrones, you see your character standing in the background of every scene, just looking. Sometimes more obvious than the others.
It's an interesting direction for this to go, Jeff.
I don't know. I just had an idea. I just went with it.
Well, I like that. He's just sitting there staring straight into the camera,
Yes.
just dead eyes.
Yep.
Well, I could talk about this. I could talk about this for an entire podcast, and I will probably talk about it again. But HBO, please, if you're listening,
Please.
like, contact someone. I know CD Projekt Red is busy with their freaking Cyberpunk, whatever. They would be the one that I would choose. But there's someone out there. Game of Thrones is freaking huge. Someone, if you go to some developer who could do this right, they will, like, completely lose their mind and do it. I promise you. I mean, I can't promise, but like...
I got it. Nintendo's Animal Crossing team.
It's an option. I think we can go back to the drawing board, but we'll keep that there,
Okay.
All right, Jeff.
I'm just going full silly now.
I stole a lot of time with that.
There you go.
But what you got?
I didn't have much time to think this is for Darby, so I just have a couple things. Yeah, and by the way, I don't think we mentioned it. We're kind of going back and forth on ideas.
Right.
So, you're not just listening to one of us ramble for a while. Okay, my first thing, and this kind of been mentioned before. I want a Green Arrow game, kind of Arkham style-ish, but the main thing I may want out of it is, kind of people who may not know about Green Arrow's character, like, some people kind of consider him like budget Batman, and well, he started out that way for sure, but he kind of grew into his own as time passed.
Yeah.
While he's a lot more funny generally or whatever, more lighthearted in some ways. At least his character is. He's actually okay with killing in a lot of iterations of him that I've seen, but it's more of he doesn't rely on it. Is if there's no other choice, like he'll do it.
But yeah, he's not like completely Batman has like a moral block on it, but he doesn't. Yeah.
But he's against it for the most part. But what I'm thinking would be cool here is if you have like a morality system. That's been done in other games before, but obviously this would be expanded on that. But I was kind of thinking, so like, if you're doing it in Starling, whatever city they try to call it, you work in there or whatever. And depending how you go about things in different ways, or you can even do some stuff as Oliver Queen, like in some way times he's mayor or whatever, and he's a billionaire or whatever. Depending on how you do with both those things, like. Maybe if you're corrupt as Oliver, or you're killing a bunch of people as Green Arrow instead of, sparing them or whatever. The Starling City or how the townsfolk view you change throughout the game.
Okay. Is there like some like evil Green Arrow like comic book storylines? Like, is there like a precedent for that?
There might be.
It wouldn't have to be. I'm just wondering, but
yeah, a lot of comic stories I obviously don't know about.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be cool. I feel like Green Arrow could be a character that could actually fit that kind of thing. I know, like in Infamous and stuff like that, this kind of thing's been done before, but this what I'm talking about is obviously an improved version of that, and would take a lot more work.
So you think, would you want Rocksteady with this, and would you want the combat to be a lot like Arkham?
Maybe Rocksteady doing it because they kind of have a hand in this, but I want to be against someone. I don't have a particular developer in mind.
Right.
Part of me is like maybe no Rocksteady because then they're not stuck in that kind of combat style. Because Green Arrow, I'd hope would combat be a lot more arrow based, like kind of maybe in some ways. Maybe a mix of. I'm just thinking, saying this because they use arrows like maybe the way Horizon or Tomb Raider does it, but maybe a mix of the Arkham style, like hand-to-hand stuff.
Some third-person shooter elements in there, but like go more with the bow thing. I mean, I love the Tomb Raider and Horizon. I love the bow mechanics in both of them.
They can maybe kind of use that, and then maybe some different version of the Arkham hand-to-hand.
Yeah, but it could be like taking inspiration from them, but kind of different because like Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider and Horizon are both with the bow. It's a lot more kind of strategic, especially in Tomb Raider. It's like lurking into shadows and shooting this. Green Arrow, what I know about Green Arrow, is a lot more flashy bow like stuff. So like it could be a more fast-paced version of like the Tomb Raider Arrow stuff.
Yeah, I just had that thought about when I was thinking about this, that morality stuff. Like that could be really cool. With like in this kind of setting. I mean, obviously, wouldn't be anything close, depending on how it is for a canon Green Arrow story. Anywhere near that, but I think it'd be a cool game.
Yeah, I would hope that it would.
Or maybe not even necessarily has to be Green Arrow, but maybe that kind of thing. Like you're going really into that whole. Maybe some kind of superhero game in general where what you do or your alter ego does really.
Even Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman does get kind of morally evil at times, or morally at times. So.
That'd be really cool. Like again, I know like Infamous. I played Infamous. I love Infamous, but. Infamous is morality is really basic in a way. You pretty much have to go into one direction, and it doesn't change things crazy amount. Yeah, like someone to go really into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my next one is, I think that, and Jeff won't be able to comment on this very much, but I think that a Blade Runner game could be cool. I would want it to be kind of like walking sim-ish. Like kind of like a Telltale style, but I don't think I'd really want like Telltale to do it. Like Blade Runner looks so cool, and no offense Telltale, I just kind of would want something that looks better than them. But I would want it to be kind of like that. Like I think you could add some like action stuff into this, but I would definitely want it to be mostly around kind of like a mystery being told like in the Blade Runner universe, and being able to walk around like the cities and like just everything in Blade Runner just looks so dang cool. And I feel like that, if you've seen the movie, like there's so much in there. Like you kind of get a glimpse of the world in Blade Runner, but not like just enough to get you really interested, but there's so much you don't know. And I feel like it could just be perfect for telling stories inside of it if it's done right. It could be done wrong. And I would want it to almost, this is kind of a weird direction I'm saying, but I would want it to kind of be like a Hellblade level of like kind of like maybe a 6-hour, 8-hour AA experience where it's like, there's going to be entire sections without combat and entire sections without this or whatever, because that's the game we want to make. And I would want it to kind of be weird and artsy also like that. So I think it would be really cool.
Good.
I'm excited for the new Blade Runner movie. That's what got me.
I know a lot of people are in. Yeah. That's one of those movies I just never ended up watching.
I just watched it like a month and a half ago, like, which is crazy.
There are people raging right now.
Yeah, I know. But hey, I watched it and I loved it. So
I don't watch a lot of movies, guys. I'm sorry. Speaking of movies, Darby, we got Death Note next week.
Oh dang, yeah.
Get ready for spoiler cast, people.
Yeah,
probably.
Absolutely.
Okay. We should get together and watch that. We'll talk about that later. Okay.
We should.
Moving on to my next game. This is when, my next fair amount of mine, Darby's not going to have much to say on these, but do them anyway. This next game for you I guess anime nerds out there, I want a My Hero Academia fighting game, and because I'm loving the way they're doing Dragon Ball Fighters, I want Arc Systems to do it with that kind of just anime style, and I don't know, just the amount of fan service in there.
You think that'll just be the rest of Arc Systems, like Life is just doing like anime fighting games?
I mean, technically that's what they've been doing until now, but now, yeah, they could do it. But for people who do know, My Hero Academia it's pretty much set in a world where most people have developed superpowers, like most people do, have these abilities. And there's even a school where you learn to become a superhero that not everyone gets into, but where the main characters go. Yeah. And you follow this one kid and his class pretty much. A class with a bunch of varying powers. Reason why I picked this manga anime in particular is because all the characters have such different and cool abilities, like they could be very diverse movesets for every character, and they definitely have enough characters to go off of. You can argue they have more characters potentially make movesets off of than Dragon Ball.
Okay.
I mean, and make them unique, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And honestly, because it's not the most long-running thing, and not everyone has real crazy fights. They could take they can do a little more with the movesets, I guess.
Yeah, take some liberties.
Yeah, take some liberties with it, and I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
It'd be really pretty, and be really unique stuff. Like first example, which would be cool. The main character, his main power is, he just kind of has a super straightforward effort, pretty much is his thing. But he developed a fighting style at some point where he mainly uses kicks, and that could be really cool fighting style because there are not too many things, especially in 2D fighting games, where someone's main fighting style is kicking.
Yeah, I guess that is pretty.
And I can go on and on about characters.
Would you want the Dragon Ball Fighters art style type, like that kind of treatment to it? I mean,
that's Arc Systems' thing for the most. Whether it plays blue and stuff. Yeah. That's mainly what I think is like. That'd be so pretty, and obviously Arc Systems knows what they're doing this stuff. So I'm thinking this would be a good, cool thing for them to do. And I guess this is me gonna show my ignorance about ownerships for all this stuff. I want to say the people who own the anime. I don't know how this stuff necessarily works, but exactly. But I think the people who own the anime rights to My Hero Academia and Dragon Ball are the same. And I think the main I know they come from the same manga company as well. So I don't know if that would be good. Like the companies already talk to each other and working together.
The rights could be different for video games, but that's a good sign at least for it's a sign that there might be.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically it says work for Namco Bandai, but I don't know. I don't know what My Hero Academia video game stuff is. Have they dabbled in video games at all? I think they just had Japan only ones. It's one of those things. It's just starting to. I've noticed building a fandom here. Okay. Like this is one of those things. Me and Alex read them things like shortly after it started coming out in Japan. Okay. The anime stuff just really starting to build up some here. So it's possible. I love it. All right, well, my next one is... This is something that me and Jeff talked about pretty much immediately after seeing this movie, is a Zootopia game, because I really love that movie. And I think... I mean, definitely jump in for what you think, but my immediate thing was thinking a platformer / action game with this, especially just with the cartoony style of it. And just in the movie, you see pictures of all of Zootopia, and they even they're in a different subway sectors, station or something. Yeah, there's different sectors that are all different and they climates. Only ever really go to two of them. I think only 2 of them. Yeah. So you saw all these different things, and there's so many possibilities for that. Yeah. I think that's part of the reason. I mean, obviously they wanted to kind of build a world and make it look cool, but I mean that's a really good way to build up a sequel to have different environments and stuff. Yeah. We talked about right after the movies, this movie, especially compared to other Disney stuff, has so much sequel potential. Yep, and that's a lot of times I'd be annoyed with sequels, but this one I'm it makes perfect sense. Make it Disney. I mean, they are, but I'd be surprised they're not. They absolutely are. But I think it would be really cool for them to delve into games and get someone like an Insomniac or or even the people that just did Crash or whatever, or a Sucker Punch or something like that. Someone who's proven they can do these. Unfortunately, Sucker Punch is beyond. Yeah, I was say they're beyond that now. But there's plenty of other ones. Yeah. Sanzaru.
who did like the Sly game. There's plenty out there that have proven they can do something like this.
And well, Disney's done making their own games now, so.
Yeah.
They've been the business of licensing stuff.
I would want them to license this out to someone who could do it really well.
Darby, you know what my first thought when reading this was?
What?
And I guess kind of spoiled what Darby said. He mentioned preferably telling a story post-movie.
Yeah.
You could get your dreams in Kingdom Hearts.
This
all could happen in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it could. Even though, it probably won't go nearly as far as what I would want, out of a solely Zootopia game. But it could be at least a step, and that could be like a stepping stone to get.
My kind of hope, just on that note, I won't stay long, but with this, well, Kingdom Hearts starting to do some stuff with the new worlds that they're telling stories that are after the main stories, the movies. So that could happen, and. I have hopes that Zootopia will get in, because when it first happens, it's too new. But nowadays, since Kingdom Hearts took so long, they really wanted to.
Yeah, it's really not that new anymore. Yeah.
So I have hopes. Okay, so,
yeah. I mean, I don't have too much else. I just say, obviously, open world, even if you just had the different sections as, hub worlds, and then you went on different missions off of that, like in a Super Mario 64 style or something like that. Or a Sly Cooper style. Whatever you want to do. I think it would just be cool. Yeah.
That'd be cool. My next one. This is one that Dari's definitely not going to get at all, and not many other people will too. I want a game, and it's kind of already being made, but I don't know much about it. Based on the anime/manga called Gintama. So, for people who do not know, and this is just an oversimplification, it's not exactly like this. It's like, in a way, the Japanese South Park. Just the way it just parodies everything and can be a little vulgar. Not nearly to that level, but...
Right.
But it is kind of like that. It's also on Shonen Jump and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like Dragon Ball Z and stuff. You might remember the story. We played J-Stars. There's a character that you rode around on a scooter.
Okay, yeah.
It's that guy.
Okay.
So I'd be okay about any game for them, but something that's popped in my head that could be fun if done right. That's, I guess, kind of an asterisk that's on all these games we're talking about.
Yeah.
Could be a Persona parody. I don't know why. That popped in my head.
Yeah, that seems like that would be a direction you would go if it is Japanese South Park.
Yeah. I don't know. I just have so much in my head they do it the way that they would do the relationships and the battles, just making fun of it and somewhat generate break the fourth wall.
Idea for what type of gameplay you'd want it to be?
I mean, if it's a Persona parody, maybe
like the turn-based type thing like that.
Yeah. Or I mean, just going for Persona thing, an action kind of game could be cool, depending how they did it. I think that's what they're making now, but also, unfortunately, with this franchise, anything they make has a decently low chance of ever coming here.
Right.
I think only one movie's ever been technically officially released here. Maybe. I don't know.
Does it have any sort of a following in America, or is it?
Very small. It's very Japanese. Like, a lot of the references... I don't even get because they're main big Japanese stuff. Yeah. And then they reference a lot of manga and anime. But it's so good, Darby.
Well, my next one is kind of more of a vague one. It's not really tied to a specific thing, but I would like a very deep, gritty and big emphasis on historically accurate Viking game, a game about Vikings. And I got this because I I only saw the first episode with my my sister and my brother-in-law of The Last Kingdom. It's like a show, I think it's Netflix or something. It's some show about Viking culture, and they try to be as historically accurate as they can. And it was really cool with the first episode, but for some reason, right after watching that episode, I thought about how cool it would be to play a game like this where you get to see, a historically accurate version of what went down when Viking clans would go and raid someone's home and take them. In this first episode, slight spoilers for the first episode of The Last Kingdom, they slaughtered these people there in their this castle or whatever, and they take the guy, the lead dude in the house or whatever, the lord of the house, they take his son with them, and he becomes a Viking along with them. He was a normal person. the Vikings killed all of his family and abducted him, but he basically kind of ended up getting indoctrinated into them, and he became a Viking himself. And the game could even take that exact plot, because I think it's really cool, and you could go on a story with that, and I would want it to be very gritty and very realistic and hard hitting and very realistic looking too. I don't know if I would want just the way I'm envisioning it. I don't think I would envision a open world game. I would want more of they're telling a story, and it's a Uncharted type linear path. Just random thought. The closest thing I thought about for fighting style and stuff is I like the For Honor combat a lot. I think if it was just the For Honor combat, it would get old after a while. But something like that where it's very twitchy and you have to block in certain directions to do that. I think that could be cool.
Some weight to it.
Yeah. And I also thought, I could also say the exact same thing I just said about Vikings, and I could say the same thing for pirates or something, or samurai or Western stuff. I just want some more gritty but historically accurate type games, because there's movies are doing that a lot. There's so it'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, my next game is one that might actually be happening, so we'll see. This one is Pokemon game, but it's on console, so we're getting on the Switch.
Right.
But it's an open world game, and I guess the best way to say it's more like a regular JRPG, and not one that feels like it's being held down by a handheld.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how way to describe it. Just a really big world, maybe a lot of side quests and stuff. Make you feel less kiddish.
Yeah.
I know it's probably not gonna happen.
Would you want the when you encounter in fights? Would you want it to be a rendition of the traditional Pokemon fighting, the turn-based thing?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It would just be something where you're actually going around this world, and it's just and then you go into the battle screen more.
Yeah. I guess Persona 5 does it. I guess since I'm playing that, something like that. That I don't mind, or depending how they do it, they said it so you do it the open world kind of becomes a Battlefield. I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of idea having. Obviously, a lot of people want it.
And this is what I think there's a decent chance this is not going to be that. These gens are just,
I can dream.
But maybe at some point down the line. I hope this is, though. I hope this is something different. I hope this isn't.
Here's the thing. I know they probably won't do this because the Pokemon games they make, because they pump out so many third titles and stuff, I guess they're easy to be able to do, and they, the way they're doing it is easy for them to make money. So I guess they have no reason to do it, but they can do so much more with the franchise.
I think so too. They've been kind of doing the same formula for a long time. Yeah. Not as bad. They've improved on it and stuff, but I think it's time.
Yeah.
It's time for a Breath of the Wild type refresh. For the Pokemon franchise.
Oh, I would love that. I'm not gonna hose up too much, but we'll see how it goes. Obviously. If you're listening to this, I will talk about any Pokemon Switch.
Nintendo's going down that path. I have a feeling that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a crazy reset for Metroid, and I could see the Pokemon game being a crazy
But here's
reset.
the thing, though. I get what you're saying, but technically Nintendo has no control over that. It's Game Freak / Pokemon Company.
So, yeah, that is also true.
Nintendo's pretty much saying they're okay, well, because of our slight ownership over you have to do it on here, pretty much. Really saying Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess Game Freak might be more in the interest of just making assured money.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I didn't put it in here, but there's some news about Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Nothing crazy. So far, that game's out in 3 months.
Jeez.
And we don't know much. we don't even know right now how much of it similar it is to the old game, or if it's a sequel.
And it'll probably still sell millions upon millions upon millions.
I'm not buying it.
It could release tomorrow and people would probably buy it.
Though there is hint that there's going to be a reference that the first region. They show you the character in one of the first gyms. So if you go to the first region, that might be what gets me. Well, that's a whole another game in a way, so we'll see how it is. Moving on.
All right. Well, my next one, I think this is one that me and Jeff can probably both agree on. I didn't talk to him about it, but I would love a Teen Titans game. Not Teen Titans Go, but a Teen Titans the cartoon that I loved.
What about Young Justice? Would you settle for that potentially?
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Okay.
But yeah, that kind of thing. And I wanted to talk to you about because I'd be kind of up for whatever genre works with this. The biggest selling points is I'd want to be able to like play as every character, like either switching off or just different sections you play as different characters, and they have their different move sets.
Well, they have these games. They're just trash.
Like, yeah, well, a good one. What immediately came to my mind for some reason was like a 2D side-scroller type thing. It would be easier to make, and I could see it being cool, or Metroidvania type of thing, or like a 3D action thing. Like,
yeah, if this was made, I would be shocked if it wasn't 3D action. Like,
yeah,
there's no way they're gonna use like Teen Titans to make a 2D side-scroller. I mean, I don't disagree that'd be cool.
Yeah, it could be good, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what I would want for it, and I don't know if Teen Titans are big enough anymore for this to happen on a big level.
It'd be fun.
But it would be
if
fun.
It's done cool, right? A Teen Titans / Young Justice thing in a style like a JRPG, or a turn-based.
That would be weird, but
or a turn-based type thing.
I feel like with them, I would want more action, but. I mean, I would take.
There's a thought pop in my head.
I'd take whatever I could get if it was good, but I think I would want kind of the action, but definitely more of a cartoony action. But you know how Teen Titans was. It was cartoony, but it was also serious. Like they told like some serious.
And then made Teen Titans Go.
And we don't speak of that.
Cartoon Network will always speak of that. Okay, next game. This is the game that might happen. The last one did pretty well. I want a Kid Icarus game for the Switch. Now, before it already says anything, I know his feelings on Kid Icarus Uprising. I'll say is, change this, if it's on the Switch, this would be different anyway. Take out the things that, I was okay with it. Take out the annoyings, people found annoying from the 3DS version. It can be great without it, that.
With the controls?
Yeah.
Completely, pretty much just take all that and throw it in the trash.
Obviously I still want it to be third-person action.
Yeah.
The general style of it you're okay with, and you use the way you do with the stylus and anything is what bothered you.
I would be excited for it to look better on the Switch and stuff.
Obviously.
That would be...
It looked good for a 3DS game, but yeah.
For a 3DS game, yeah.
And obviously, I want the humor intact.
Yes.
Like, that was the main thing.
I mean, if you can bring back the voice actors or the writers or whatever, even, like, I think there was no problem with that. It was just I hated the gameplay.
Yeah.
I hated the controls.
I'm not alone. And, as far as the Nintendo fandom that really wants that. And, yeah, again, if they did it, they would have to change it from the 3DS gameplay. If they made a game for the Switch. There was no way. There's no way they could do that. And obviously, it would look a lot better.
Yeah.
Unless they completely just ported Uprising. Which would be weird at this point.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work.
Exactly. They had to completely change the gameplay. They might as well change the game.
Yeah, make a new game. Yeah.
So, again, Sakurai sounds like he's done with Smash, I guess, for now. Unless...
That's what it sounds like, but yeah.
I guess depending what they're doing for Smash Bros. Switch. So
if he's doing something else, this could be...
I love it so much.
Yeah.
That'd be hype.
He's not on any, like, Kirby anything right now, is he? He's not on the Kirby game that we saw at E3, is he?
At least not that we know of.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to be on that.
I
don't even know if he really works on Kirby anymore, really.
I didn't think he did, but,
So, yeah, that'd be great.
Well, my next one is basically, this stems from the fact that I'm very bad at 3D fighters. I want
You're also bad at 2D fighters.
Huh?
You're also bad at 2D fighters.
But I'm significantly better at them than 3D. I am bad at both, but I can at least kind of sort of competently, to a certain extent, know what I'm doing with a 2D fighter. So I want a Final Fantasy 2D fighting game. Mm-hmm. So, like, kind of, like Mortal Kombat style, Dragon Ball Fighter style, like that kind of gameplay. I'm like interested to see what if this did happen, would you want, like, what would you want between, like, a more, like, realistic looking thing or, like, a stylized, like, kind of
stylized?
Okay. I think I probably would too. It's just like, it's weird when you have all these different characters that come from different levels of, like some of these games came out in, like, the 90s and they like look so much different than, like, Noctis and Final Fantasy 15. So to have, like, a coherent style, like, some characters might look a little weird when you, like, or not how you're expecting them to. When you
like, imagine Kefka realistic.
Yeah, it wouldn't work as well. Yeah.
Some things work, like, I would say overall Injustice works, going from what we normally see to the more realistic style.
Right.
Final Fantasy is one I feel like realistic would just look...
It gets too weird.
Yeah, it gets to the point where it's a little too silly.
Yeah.
So go to a stylized thing.
Yeah.
I'll probably say that for most Japanese things.
that is true. That is true. You don't think about that. But I just want, like, really good, really, like, tight mechanics and stuff, but just 2D. Like, I'm so bad at the other... At that, and have all the characters maybe go deeper cuts than Dissidia, if you can.
This is the thing, though. Unfortunately, for Final Fantasy, as far as rosters go, you can only do so much because they're characters you just need, and there's so many games.
Yeah, if you just take the ones that you think are essential, you already have like
a full roster.
Basically, you have it at least.
Especially they go for try to go for a competent 2D fighter.
Or you take one from every game and you have 15 characters. It's like,
And if they try to go like they do with Dissidia, at least one hero and one villain from each game, that's already about 30 characters.
30. And that's just getting like your
or a little
essential,
less than that because they may
your essential one hero and villain.
Yeah.
So it's hard, but...
Yeah. I'm not envious of the person who has to make the roster for these things.
Well, that's what I would be fine for this to be really kind of a smaller looking game. Like, I'd be fine with this being like maybe not even like to the level of Dissidia realistic looking. Like this could even be like a not what I mean, like a more like smaller looking like a retro looking game or whatever. But it would still be cool to have Final Fantasy characters and that kind of thing. Probably not going to happen because Dissidia is a thing, but yeah, who knows.
And Nomura, I don't know if he would want to make a 2D fighting game, and he's got to be involved in everything. Give the man a break. So,
do you have anything more?
I got one more. I meant to do this at the beginning. We got to throw in the obligatory Nintendo v PlayStation / DC versus Marvel fighting games.
This is where the wishful thinking comes in.
Yes. Well, my last one's also wishful thinking at this point. So. For people who don't know, me and Darby, we really like this game called PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't kill us.
Yeah. We're a minority when it comes to that. I love a second game.
I will fight to the death. That game is so good, and it was so unfairly hated.
Yes. It was hated just by existing.
Hated before it even came out, and hated by lots of people who never played it.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that would be... If that announcement ever came, that PlayStation All-Stars 2 was coming out, Jeff would obviously probably see it first because Jeff does. And he would message me. I would not believe him. I would look at it, realize it's real, and scream at the top of my lungs.
Yeah. He would not this is how it happened. Exactly what happened when Cloud announced Smash Brothers. Like, I text him, like, this has happened. He's like, no, it didn't. Send him a trailer. He watched, like...
I'll just see him, like, parking garage at school, like, screaming to myself.
Yeah.
No, I would that would be day one buy for sure. Lose my.
You would get tired of us talking about it.
You would. This podcast might as well would become just an all-stars podcast.
Me and already jokingly talked about it that if we did this during when Smash Bros. Hype was going on for the Wii U, we may have to make a side podcast just for Smash Bros.
Just to get it out of our system.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I would want that. And then obviously, like you said, if you combined All Stars and Smash Bros, it would just be this glory, the best game. You wouldn't need any other game.
No.
For all of existence.
Yep.
Never gonna happen in a million years, especially now that Nintendo is being successful again. If the Switch had bombed as bad as the Wii U, then maybe this could have happened because maybe Nintendo would have become only software. That's the only way this could happen. Mm-hmm. But now, no.
But yeah, PlayStation All-Stars 2. That's 5% at most of happening. I'm being generous there.
That's generous, yeah.
I like to keep some hope alive. But yeah, I'm not going to go into what I want for this game, obviously, because then me and you would be talking here forever.
Yep, and we've already been talking forever. I have one more. It's just kind of again, vague. I used to play all the 007 games with my dad as a kid, and I loved them. I want 007 to have some sort of resurgence into the video game world, kind of with modern type gameplay, whether it's a first-person shooter type thing or a third-person shooter, or they do something different with it. I just want that with modern writing and modern graphics and gameplay mechanics. I just want the 007 games to play again. It'd be fun. Well, Jeff, we have gone for almost 2 hours this week.
Yeah.
This is our
You have some time to cut out because of all the stuff that happened.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But still, we went for a long time. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This
We
was
got
a
some
good
good
one.
conversations. Yeah.
That's a lot of good conversations. Sorry that we're don't have video for at least most of it.
Yeah.
We're working on this.
Yeah. Maybe a good week next week with Gamescom happening.
Yeah,
We should have a lot of stuff.
and we'll have Uncharted Lost Legacy to talk about,
And Will.
and maybe Will. Hey, Will.
Hey,
man. Yeah, where you
Remember
at?
us?
So thank you for listening to the podcast this week.
Wait, Darby. Goals.
I didn't even come up with any. You go. I'll think. I forgot about that.
Well, I'm just gonna keep mine simple. Finish Splatoon 2 story mode. Just gonna continue doing that. That won't take me long. Just need to get to it. And 2 more weeks in Persona at least. I'm just gonna keep on that track. It's a general small thing. And I'll play at least significant. And I'll decide on that when it happens. Amount of Sonic Mania. So I have it now.
Yeah, you do, because you need to talk about it in this podcast. So. Yes. I'm going to keep mine kind of simple and easy for myself. Just beat Uncharted Lost Legacy. Beat it, play it to completion.
Oh.
It might be harder than... It might be
Are you
harder
gonna play
than
it all with your sister?
Yeah, I'm going to play it all with my sister, so our schedules have to line up, and I have school starting this week. So it might be easier said than done, but I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, at least.
I predict you may not be able to do that.
I kind of
Just because you play that. Yeah. I mean, it's like 10 hours or something.
Yeah.
Or it can be.
I'll at least say I'll give myself kind of points for if I just get far. I just get pretty far in it. So thank you for listening to this podcast. If you like Game of Thrones, check out our Game of Thrones spoiler cast that will be up. Recording this on Saturday right now, so not yet.
I was spoiled.
Jeff was spoiled, and I feel very bad for him, but I'm making him stay very quiet because I refuse. So we'll see you next week, everyone. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much.